Welcome everyone to our call tonight. I'm so excited. I've done a lot of studying and prep things and things I to get ready for tonight. And I shared with everyone earlier when they were coming on the call that I was going to just do this call for directors tonight. But after I made that post today, so many people were sharing how they really want to promote, they want to grow their business. And I thought this call is really for everyone that is wanting to grow. So I went ahead and opened it up to everyone, and we're talking about tonight developing the leader within you. And so I'm super excited to share some things. I've been doing a lot of studying, John Maxwell studying. He has a lot of books, YouTube videos, different things, and I've been doing a lot of my studying and research with a lot of his material. So a lot of what I'm sharing tonight, I've learned from him. So if everyone could kind of keep yourself muted. If you want to comment in the chat or have questions at the end, I'm going to go ahead and open it up at the end for comments and questions. But please feel free to use the chat as I'm talking tonight. At the end of the call tonight, I am going to also go over some leadership requirements for when people to promote to director. So we have a lot of new directors within our group. So absolutely, you can invite your group, please. So I'm going to go over that at the end. And why I am doing that is because people need to be ready. If you're a new director, there are leadership requirements in our business that Scentsy requires from you. And if you are wanting to be a director, you need to start now doing all the things, because just when you hit direct, it's so much easier to start when you have a small team. But then when you get director and you've got like a team of maybe 12 or 30 or more, it's easier to start these practices and these habits when you have a small team. So I'm going to go over those at the end and some things that are super important for our leaders. How many of you have ever heard this saying or been told, do as I say, don't do as I do, right? And yeah, I think we've all heard that at one time, maybe even from a parent, right? As they're doing all the things, don't do as I say, do as I say, right? And sometimes, to me, one of the most challenging things probably in this business, and you will find in your own personal business too, is the challenge to self-discipline yourself, right? It's easy to tell people this is what you got to do in this business, right? It's easy to say you've heard it 101 times something from me, right? And it's easier to share that with your team, but it's so challenging, so difficult to self-discipline ourselves. It's hard. It's easier to teach what I know than live what I know. That's another one too. Self-discipline comes into play in this business. It's super important and something that hopefully I can help you with tonight and see the importance of it. The self-discipline is the difference between temporary success and sustained success, okay? It's easier to preach to others, kind of what I shared before, but so challenging to lead and preach to yourself. Like you point your fingers, right? And you've got how many fingers pointing back at you, right? But everything worthwhile is uphill, okay? I want each of you to stretch out your arm. Stretch out your arm like this. Stretch out your arm, right? It's all uphill. Remember that. It's all uphill, okay? Nothing good is down. Nothing good, all right? Everything worthwhile is uphill. The rent is due every single day in this business. The rent is due every day, right? We have to do all the things. And the only way uphill is disciplined habits. That's the only way. There is nothing in this business that's quick and easy. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not a microwave business. It's not. If you guys are coming on, if you could, everyone could just mute themselves, I'd appreciate it.
No, no, así no se come. Vete a lavar las manos y en orden.
This business is not overnight success. And the problem is we have downhill habits, right? We have downhill habits. If you have uphill hopes but downhill habits, you're in trouble and you're going to struggle. It's impossible for you to have continued success without discipline in your life. And the biggest challenge too is keeping your team members going uphill. It's hard. It's challenging. It's not easy. People don't want to climb. They want to coast, right? They want to coast. They want the easy way out. But everything worth having is uphill. I once heard a saying sometimes, one time this reporter was interviewing somebody that had climbed Mount Everest. And the reporter asked him, like, what made you want to do this? Why would you want to climb to the top of Mount Everest? What motivated you to do this? And if you can mute yourself when you're coming on, that would be awesome. Thanks. And the guy turned around and said to someone else, he goes, obviously he's never been on top of a mountaintop, right? So everything good is at the top of the mountain and it's worth the climb, okay? Everything worth having is at the top of that mountain. Self-discipline enables you to go uphill, and you can't go uphill without that self-discipline. There's no free rides. No one's going to push you. No one's going to message and text all the people for you. I can't sell for you. Your sponsor can't sell for you, right? You have to do that. It's self-discipline. And self-discipline is the bridge between good intentions and good actions. I want you to visualize. Let me see if I can. Oh my gosh. Okay, it wouldn't let me share, and then I got kicked out. So anyways, we're not going to do that tonight. All right, I'm not going to show you that. Self-discipline is the bridge between good intentions and good actions. So I want you guys to visualize a bridge, since I can't show you a thing that I put together for you guys. Visualize a bridge, and on one side is good intentions, and on one side is good actions. And I want you to, like, the Brooklyn Bridge, like, let's visualize something big, a large bridge, okay? And you've got good intentions over here, then over here is your actions. And you've got to put those intentions to action, right? Because that's where it's happening, all right? The bridge is that self-discipline. And that's what's going to combine those actions to those good intentions. And what I wanted to ask you about tonight as well is what is your attitude towards self-discipline? Are you like, oh man, it stinks? Or do you like I'm going to do this? Like, if I have these habits, if I have these good intentions, and I put these to action, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Or are you going through kicking and screaming like, oh, I hate this, I'm never going to get to where I want to be? What is your attitude towards that? Because that is going to make a huge, huge difference. Are you pushing your way through there? Are you like determined? There is a light, there is a goal. I am pushing towards that goal, and I'm going to make this happen. Because if you have an Eeyore attitude, you're probably not ever going to get there, right? But if you have a good attitude and you set that self-discipline and you put action behind those intentions, you are going to push through and you're going to go reach to the other side of that bridge. It's going to happen for you. It's going to happen for you. And self-discipline is also, it's a journey. It is a journey. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And you don't even realize you're doing them, because what happens is they become habits. They become habits. And you don't even realize you're doing them, because it's just become a lifestyle for you. And self-discipline, I'm going to repeat this again. Self-discipline is the difference between temporary success and sustained success. And the uphill journey, it's an uphill journey all the way. It's an uphill journey all the way. And the core of everyone's success is that self-discipline. And I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Most people want to quit fix. They don't want to go through that. They don't want to go through that. You know, they don't want to go. They see people that are highly successful in this business, people possibly that have earned all the trips, right? They're achieving the annual mentor award, the annual sales award. They've earned the luggage, right? So many of us just received our luggage, right? Woo woo, yeah. Like, they see people succeeding, and they're like, I want that. But they haven't been behind the scenes for all these text messages they've sent out, the phone calls that have been made, all the samples that have been put together, and the packages that have been, you know, mailed out. They don't see all behind the scenes. Most people, all they see is all the success, and they want that. But so many of you here, like, it was hard work earning that luggage, right? You didn't just sit and watch Netflix and eat chocolates every day to earn a set of luggage or an incentive trip, right? Or walk the stage itself for annual mentor and annual sales award. You weren't just sitting on the sidelines like, woohoo, right? It took work. And you have to keep pushing to achieve those things, you know. And then people have told me, I want to hit director. And I'm like, that's great. That's just a title. Why do you want to achieve director? What does that mean for you? What does that look like for you achieving that? Because a title is just a title, folks. You got to keep working for that title. Trust me. We all start out as essential consultants, or maybe I could say certified, every single month. Like, hello, so November 1st, we're all at zero. Like, you got to work for it every single month. The rent is due every single day. If somebody could mute themselves, thank you so much. I'd appreciate that. Self-discipline is the vehicle for you to achieve these things. Self-discipline. And I can't help you in this business. Your sponsor can't help you in this business. Your director cannot help you in this business if you do not master self-discipline. It is the key. It is the key. Can you repeat that phrase? What did I say? Self-discipline is the vehicle to get you there. I don't know what I said. I don't know. You can unmute yourself, kind of paraphrase it for me. Undisciplined people will exhaust you. How many times have we hear it? I want to achieve this. I want this. Martha, tell me what to do. I give you a plan. I tag you in something that's going to help you. Do you apply that? Your directors tells you, here, maps out something for you. Okay, your sponsor maps out something for you. And then 2 months down the road, you're like, they're asking you again, what? And we come back, did you do this? Right? Maybe they had a coach call with you and they set out a plan, right? I've had coach calls of people, they want a coach call and they don't show up, right? You have got to put in the work. The rent is due every single day. You've got to put in the time and the effort. You have to self-discipline yourself. We have everything for you to have a successful business on the training tab of the workstation. Okay, YouTube videos, files, and Sweet Aroma. I have a YouTube channel. Everything that you need to succeed in this business is out there. You have to apply it. Okay? You have to cross the bridge, and you got to start pushing, because your good intentions are not going to get you anywhere. You have to cross the bridge. You have to cross the bridge. And this is an uphill journey. And the core of all success is self-discipline. This is a pay now, play later. You work hard, you play hard later in this business. And it's worth it, trust me. It is worth it. Orville told me this one time on an incentive trip when I went to Greece, and I had some one-on-one time with him. And I was asking all the questions. I was a fairly new consultant, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, I can't remember. But anyways, and I was asking him, like, look at my numbers. Look at what I'm doing. What do you think I need to do? What do I need to improve? All the things, right? Like, I was just like a sponge. And he said, Martha, work hard for 5 years like you're earning a college degree, and you will have success. I said, okay. So I went home, put my blinders on, got to work. And that's knowledge that I want to share with you today, because it was a game changer for me. And that's what I did. I created some self-discipline. At the time, I had 3 kids at home. Now, like, my children are older, but when I started this business, they were all at home. We had an automotive business. I had 3 children at home. I had a cleaning business. I got up early every day. I got up early. Etzel has shared this many times. She gets up and works before she goes to her 9-to-5 job, right? You got to do what you have to do now if you want success later. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the work, okay? And your habits will begin to serve you, all right? Self-discipline makes habits your servant instead of your master. Okay? They become habits. You don't even realize you're doing all the things, right? People have uphill hopes, but downhill habits. And we're changing that. We are changing that. The only way to break a downhill habit is to get intentional. It's the only way to break that habit. You have to get intentional. And everything worthwhile is up here at the top. It's uphill. Everything worth having is up there. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes your emotions are going to get in the way. They're going to get in the way, you guys. And we say things, we think our emotions, we spew out of our mouth, and we get frustrated, and it's going to happen in this business. But I want to tell you today, like, think before you speak. And I'm sharing this as a leader to you. And if you don't have a team yet, learn this now. Learn this now, because this business gets frustrating. It gets frustrating, and you want to vent and share all the things. Or maybe Scentsy didn't do something the way that you thought they should have done that, right? It's going to happen. And my Lord, it happened in the corporate world too. It's not just doesn't happen in Scentsy world. Like, my Lord, my husband frustrates me sometimes, right? But I've learned to think before I speak. Your kids frustrate you sometimes, right? Like, you just want to go throw them off of a bridge maybe or something, right? We get frustrated, but think before you speak. And sometimes when maybe a team member will frustrate you, okay? And before you respond ever, wait, if you can, at least for 24 hours before you respond. Because your emotions will come down and you won't say something that you wish you could bring back later. It's going to happen. Trust me. It's happened many, many times in my 10 years. It's going to happen. Okay. And the wrong emotions too, just in a moment's notice, all that stride that you made going uphill, and you're having the wrong emotions at the wrong time, it'll just knock you right back down. And you don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen for you. Okay. Because it's hard to get that momentum back, folks. It's hard, okay? So I want you to think before you speak. And self-discipline is most easily developed in your areas of your strengths and your passions. We're doing a book club right now on our Enneagrams. And I think this is really, if you want to join the book club, you're welcome. We posted about it in Sweet Aroma. It will really, really help you in developing your strengths and your passions and understanding team members' strengths and passions and focusing on those areas. Self-discipline needs fuel. And when you find out what your strengths are, okay, when you find out what your strengths are, that's going to give you the fuel that you need in your business, the fuel you need to thrive in your business, right? And that's what you need to focus on. The fuel comes from doing what you love and what you're good at. And so many of you already love Scentsy. You love our products, right? That's why you're here today. And you love this business. You love being a part of this community. That's why you're here today, right? So you already have that passion. So you just need to fuel it with some of your other strengths that you're good at and focus on those areas and focus on developing those areas in your business, okay? There is a relationship with willpower and why power. Willpower and why power, okay? Your why. What is your why? What is your purpose? What do you want out of this business? Where do you want to go with this business? Where is this business taking you? This Scentsy is the vehicle to help your dreams become a reality. It's to change your life, give you that financial freedom, right? Help you to maybe purchase the vehicle that you've always wanted. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's for your kids to be in sports. Trust me, I know all about sports and how expensive sports are. My son has been in all the sports. And I don't know what your why is. And I loved reading some of them in our Sweet Aroma Chicago group. But Scentsy is the vehicle to make that happen. And that's why we always focus. We focus on your why. Because self-discipline is challenging, right? But if you know your purpose, that's going to drive you. It's going to drive you every single day to develop those habits. Maybe you want to get out of your 9-to-5 job. Scentsy can make that happen. I quit my cleaning business when we moved to Alabama. Scentsy can make that happen. It made it happen for me. I was able to replace that income I had coming in. Scentsy can do that for you, okay? But when you're doing your why, your purpose, your will, what you love, it makes so much easier developing that self-discipline and those habits that you need. It's what you love. It's what you care about, right? And this is what makes self-discipline easier. And this is why we focus on our why. Is this kind of all making sense, all coming together? Why your why is so important? What your purpose is, right? And you must figure it out. You have to figure out what your why is. Otherwise, you will remain undisciplined. Okay? You've got to figure that out. You got to help your team discover that too, as well. Scentsy in our, under the training tab, there is some great resources there in helping you. And Jen just did a workshop. Jen Supernet, where are you? Jen Super. Okay, there. She just did a workshop on this, and she said it went really well, and it helped with her team members discovering their why. And we don't have to do this business. We get to do this business. What an honor, what a privilege this business is. And I love this, and I love doing this business. I love being a part of this business. I love helping each of you achieve your goals and your dreams. And we get paid to be cheerleaders and mentors, right? We get paid to serve others. Like, seriously? Like, really? I get paid to send Happy Mail to my team and to my customers? Like, seriously? Like, this is the best job ever, you guys. And when you fall in love with what you do, it's easy to become self-disciplined, right? Because you love what you do. And when you have a lack of discipline, It's really a lack of knowing what you want out of life. Like, you got to figure out what that is. What do you want out of life? When you figure that out, you will have discipline. Okay. When you don't know what you want out of life, you won't have the self-discipline power to achieve these things that you have to do, right? And self-discipline makes consistency possible, and consistency compounds. It makes it possible. It always has, it always will. And consistency is the prerequisite of excellence. Okay? And you only become excellent in something because of your consistency with it. If your consistency is hit and miss, you will never achieve excellence. If it's hit and miss, you got to be consistent. It's consistency, folks. And consistency reinforces the visions you have and the values you have. People do what they see. So when you're consistent, it establishes your reputation. Okay? I see some people, they post they'll be posting on their Facebook about all the things, and then they don't really post, they'll wait a few months before they post about Scentsy, and then they're posting Scentsy again, and I'm like, how do people even know you're still a consultant? You have to be consistent. And I say this all the time. Post about your family, post about your fur babies, post, and then you drop Scentsy in there, okay? You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. That establishes your reputation. It makes you be a respectable person. And if you're posting about this business and you're joining, you think the grass is always greener somewhere else, and you're not consistent with Scentsy, people are not going to respect you. You have to be consistent in this business if you want to succeed in this business, if you want to have respect, if you want to have a reputation. You got to be known as, hey, when somebody says, somebody just told me the other day, they're like, oh my gosh, I was just telling somebody about you. You're the Scentsy lady. When we think about Scentsy, we think about you. That's what people need to think about you. Okay? And I'm okay with that. Hold on, I gotta meet somebody. Here we go. And you get a reputation by doing things well. That's how you get a good reputation. You want to be respectable. You want to have a good reputation. That's how you is being consistent. The consistency provides security for other people. When they know somebody is consistent, that's a security to them. It's just like your children. If you have children that have left the house and they come home, that's their security. And that becomes the same thing when you have a team. Our teams are people's security. There's room at our table for everyone, right? So it's security for people. It's our community that we have created. And that's what you need to develop for your teams. They know they can come back here and, hey, Kaylee will always be cheering for them. See, because they look up to Kaylee. She's consistent. She's developed a good reputation. They trust her, right? They value her, and that's what happens. We have to create that. I got off of my notes here, you guys, so I've got to go back to my notes so I stay on track. If you have been good in the past and you're good in the present, the odds are you will be good in the future. And it's that consistency, that's what people see. It took me a while to become good and to really get a grasp on this business. It took a while. And if you're new, it's going to take a while for you. Some of you that have now been with Scentsy for a while, it kind of takes time to find your groove and find out, like, you know, I always talk about, you know, I want you to look at all the trainings out there as a buffet, and you got to pick and choose, like, because what works for me might not work for you, what works for Carrie, what works for Shauna, like, and that's why we provide a lot of different trainings within our group, because what works for me, or you might not connect to me, but you'll connect to Gen V, or somebody else, Jacqueline, or somebody else on our team. And so you have to find your groove. But the thing is, like, if something doesn't work, you don't just give up, right? Plan A is not working out so well, go to plan B, right? Don't give up. Don't give up. Stay consistent. Have that self-discipline. You cannot give up. And you'll never know how good you're going to be until you've been doing this long enough to find out how good you really are. Okay? You've got to stick with it, is what my point is. You've got to stay with it. And self-discipline allows you to be better. It allows me to be better. Okay? And then someday somebody's going to look at you, you know, they're going to be talking to somebody and they're going to say, hey, that Shauna, she is amazing. You should see her do her business. Like, wow. Like, people are going to be talking about you, but you've got to stay with it. You've got to stick with it. And you can't be all over the place. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. And when I started Scentsy, it'll be 10 years for me in February is my anniversary. And I'm going to tell you right now, 10 years ago, I couldn't get on a Zoom call like this. They didn't even have Zoom at the time. But anyways, I couldn't even stand up and talk in front of people hardly because I was so nervous. My knees were shaking and I was a nervous wreck. And you got to do something 12,000 times before you're good at it sometimes. And I feel like I've spoke like probably 12,000 times now, and I can finally, I'm not nervous, I'm not shaking, I'm not doing all the things, right? Can somebody mute themselves, please? Thank you. And then I say that, what is this, Thomas Edison? He didn't fail, he just found 12,000 ways that didn't work, right? You got to keep trying until you find something that works. Through discipline also comes freedom. Maybe freedom of flexibility, financial freedom. It's discipline, folks. It's just self-discipline makes habits your servant instead of your master. And a lack of self-discipline in life is a lack of knowing what you want out of life. And that's what this business is going to take. It's self-discipline and it's consistency. Those daily habits. Getting to the other side of that bridge. You've got to get to the other side of that bridge. All right, I'm going to shift a little bit here, and I'm going to, I want to talk a little bit about the 3 requirements of being a director. And so, I don't know if all of our new directors are on here. I know a few of them are. But I want to, anyone have any comments, anything they want to share before I shift gears here? I'm going to look over at the chat real quick too. The phrase self-discipline is the difference between, did I repeat it, Itzel? I think I did. Self-discipline. Self-discipline makes your habits your servant instead of your master. Is that the one?
You said something like, it's the difference between something success and permanent success or something like that.
The core of all success is self-discipline. I'll look over my notes and I'll message you. I'll look them over. It was the first thing I said. My notes are all messed up now. I'll have to. Self-discipline is the difference between temporary success and sustained success. That was it. Okay. Self-discipline is the difference between temporary success and sustained success. All right. Some people, I get this question on a regular basis, and they want to know what the difference is between our team and our group. So I'm going to go over that real quick and try to explain it to where you understand, because I know it's confusing. So here's how this analogy I thought of today. So here I live here in my house, right? And at one time, like all three of my kids lived here. Okay, I raised my kids, I mentored them, I fed my kids, I did all the things as a mama, right? All right, and I raised them so someday they could spread their wings and fly, right? Well, that's what we do here in our team. And when you spread your wings and fly and you promote to director, you move out of Scentsy Mama Martha's house and you go get your own house. And you become the leader of your house, the director of your house, and the director of your team. Does that make sense? And so when you leave my team, you are in my group. And how about, like, we all love to come home to Mama's house. So we come home to Mama's house for training sometimes. We come home to Mama's house to have fun sometimes, or get together for conventions and all the things, but you still lead your own team. And you feed your team, you train your team, you send Happy Meal to your team. Is this all making sense? All right. Does anyone have any questions on that? So that, if I'm your director, then you are on my team. If somebody else is your director, you are on their team, but I'm just like the Scentsy Mama over here, superstar director. So I hope that like made that more understandable. I don't know. What happens with star director? Star director is, well, you definitely get a pay raise when you get to star director. I'll just live at Aunt Martha's house. Star director is a pay increase, and you're on your way to superstar director. It's, you still have, like I still have my team, you'll still have your team, but you will become their star director. The people that, yeah, if that makes sense. All right, and when you promote to director, there's 3 requirements of you to do that Scentsy requires for you to do. You have to do communication, recognition, and support, okay? And I'm gonna go over a few of those things here. So communication. Communication ideas can be like texting your team, emailing your team. And you can text weekly, bi-monthly, emailing your team. There's many templates out there. You can email from your workstation. If you don't know how to do that, I can help you, show you how to do that. Emailing them different things. And then, of course, Facebook. You can create a Facebook group for your team. And when you promote to director, you need to come up with a team name. And under the like the marketing tab in our workstation are team names. Before you submit your team name that you want to approve to Scentsy, you need to go check that list and make sure it is not on that list. Because if it's on that list, you cannot use it. So, and you email accountservices@scentsy.com once you have picked out a team name and you get that team name approved, okay? And then you can create your Facebook group, or you can go ahead and create your Facebook group and come up with a temporary name. Once you get it approved, Scentsy okays it, you can change it to that name. So, and then you can communicate within that Facebook group. That's what Sweet Aroma Chicago is. Okay, and there's another thing that you can do with communication. You can do phone calls. You can pick up that 500-pound phone and call your team members once in a while. There's also an app called Slide Dial, and it will allow you to leave a voicemail without actually the phone ringing and leaving a message. Because sometimes people just need to hear your beautiful voice, right? They love to hear your voice. All right, for that's communication ideas. Number 2, recognition ideas. Also, while I'm thinking about it, Sweet Aroma Leaders. We have a leaders group. If you're not in our leaders group, please join our leaders group. I have files in there for leaders. I have postcards that you can print off at Vistaprint and mail out to your team members. I have lots and lots of resources in there and ideas. And these ideas I'm going over here tonight, they're also in the Sweet Aroma Leaders group as well. Recognition ideas. Remember, what you recognize will be repeated. All right? You want your team going green by 15? You want them to have 500 PRV by the 15th of every month or the 200 PRV? Recognize it. You want them doing that every single month, right? We want to top heavy our month, okay? What you recognize will be repeated. So focus on things that will best help your team members promote and make money in their business. When you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want, okay? So help them, mentor them, coach them, right? We get paid to serve other people. We are in the relationship business. We get paid to help people, okay? That's what I love about this business. I serve you guys. I serve each and every one of you, and I love that. I love helping you. That's what we get paid to do. I believe in servanthood leadership, and that's what is going to help others achieve success as well. Another thing too for recognition, shouting out on social media, going and posting on their Facebook and saying how amazing they are. Let all their friends and family see that, right? That gives people warm fuzzies, right? Makes them feel good. Send out postcards, prizes, encouragement, anything you can think of. A pair of socks, like I love socks, like seriously. I don't know anyone who doesn't love a little sweet Happy Meal in the mail, right? And then the last is support ideas, training. There are a lot of places to find great trainings out there, and you need to be sharing those with your team. And you don't need to recreate the wheel, okay? But if you love to train and you love to do this for your team, by all means, you absolutely do it. But your team will need guidance in the training area, and do your best to point them in the right direction. And think about creating a process for your team members, for like an onboarding process that is duplicatable for your team members. Something when we switched over to having our businesses strictly online, for example, I started doing the virtual bingo parties as my launch parties for my team members. And they in turn started doing that for their team members. Several of them, 2 of them just promoted to director last month that we did that with, right? It's a duplicatable system. Their Facebook group that we did those virtual bingo parties in became their VIP groups, right? They had already had a customer base. That was duplicatable. That is duplicatable, right? And that's what, and it doesn't have to be what I did. You do what works for you and your team, okay? And think about, like, what do I want new team members to experience? Or how do I want them to learn when they join our team and launch their businesses? Ask yourself those questions, right? We talked about the team community and having a Facebook group. That's another support area. We already talked about that. Coaching and coaching calls. That's something I am currently right now. I am in a Superstar Director coaching certification program. And I've already done some coaching calls. I used some of you guys already as guinea pigs because I have to be practicing. And if any of you on here, you want to be another guinea pig for me, let me know, because I'm in the process of learning. And eventually I will be certified, and hopefully I'll be able to train you guys in the same program as well. So it's a weekly program. So, but it's going well. So I've totally changed the way and how I'm coaching. And a coaching call is a way for you to develop a relationship with that team member, right? And it's a great way to help them work towards some goals and help them to promote. Another way for support is Zoom, what we're doing right here tonight. And here it is, you guys. Sorry. Here's the deal. You cannot do everything, right? So make the things that you do worth your time and your energy. Pick things that work best for you and the time that you have to commit to your business. And then as you go, you tweak and you make those necessary changes that you need to make. All right. So anyways,